And are you refreshed? Yes. Good. Now what?
I'm having so much fun.
That's the way.
So my question is about manifesting in spite of doubt. Because
you can manifest unwanted things.
Well, this is good things that I'm manifesting, but sometimes I have doubt, and then it'll manifest, and I'm going, how did I do that?
Your desire was stronger than your doubt.
Oh, but I thought if you had any doubt, it couldn't happen.
No, it just slows it down.
Oh.
It's all about that balance thing. You all make things much harder on yourselves than they need to be. Doubt just slows it down. What you want is inevitable. It's just the gap between your wanting it and your receiving it fully is all about how much resistance you have. So you're controlling the timing of it through your doubt or through your enthusiasm.
Okay.
And of course, if your doubt is really equal to your desire, it doesn't move forward at all.
Maybe it was also part of letting go, because when I finally this morning let go a little bit and kind of had the doubt is when it all happened. I have a story of what happened this morning. I came here and my husband said that I couldn't use the credit card or the checkbook to buy a ticket. And so I thought, well, how am I going to get in here? And so I tried this yesterday and I thought, well, I'm only in Carlsbad. I'll just come down here and at least I get to enjoy the energy, and I'm really going to work on this thing about having fun. And I thought, well, at least I'll have like minds, and I'm going to allow myself to have fun whether I get in there or not. I thought there's got to be somebody who's came with somebody or that didn't come, that bought 2 tickets, and that they're just going to find me and give it to me.
We usually try to run you lurkers off.
So I just figured, well, I'll just hang out and just see what happens. Maybe I'll just meet nice people anyway. And then around 9:40, after playing on my computer for a while, I thought, well, I guess I'll just go to my garden. That's a little bit more fun. So I thought I'd come down with my friend today because she was buying a ticket. And I still thought, well, how am I going to do this? And I checked my own personal PayPal, and there was $0 in there. And I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll get a sale from our business and it'll just come in at the right time, and then I can call my husband and I'll say, yeah, go ahead and you can buy this ticket. And so I was standing there and I thought, I got this urge. I had the blue registration and I was holding it for the longest time, and I just got this inspiration, well, just fill it out. Tell your subconscious that this is really what you want. And I thought, okay, I'll fill it out. And everybody's going in there, and I'm starting to hear the music, and then this lady, she says to me, are you in line? And I'm like, well, kind of, but not really. And I said, well, I'm kind of waiting to manifest money for a ticket or a ticket somehow. And she started asking me, well, something. And I said, well, it's okay, because regardless, I've decided I'm going to have fun. And then I felt myself waver, or like I felt that little bit of, wobble. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm disappointed because this isn't going to happen. And then she decided she was going to buy me.
Does she sound more disappointed or more determined to you? And in determination, there is power, isn't there? Esther needs to make a note with her feather. Edit out this portion.
It gets better, because this morning I was sitting across from this gal named Peggy.
We know it does. We know it does.
And so you were telling that story about Peggy, the flight attendant that was surely going to get fired, and I thought, maybe this is the Peggy that's really fun that's sitting across from me. And it wasn't, but she was still fun. And so I really got my energy up this morning. But this lady in white, gorgeous lady in white, I think she's an angel because I haven't seen her again, and she decided she was going to buy me a ticket, and I didn't expect it to come that way. I was really sure it was somebody else who already had a ticket.
How did you expect it to come?
I thought somebody else had an extra one and they couldn't go, so they were going to give it to me.
Well,
or that money would somehow just, I don't know, I guess just fall on the floor or something. Or in my bank account, I would keep checking my email for something big to happen.
Did you notice that as you said fall on the floor, that fell on the floor?
Yeah.
There are many aspects of this story that we are appreciating. The most important thing is that when you have a strong determination, and we were talking earlier about the desire and the contradictory desire, and when we use the word determination, we mean that desire is much stronger than doubt. And within determination, there are words like expectation. You came knowing that you didn't have a way to pay your way in, but you came with determination, expectation. It's clear when you hear her, isn't it, that her vibration was more about getting in than about not getting in. And the fact that you didn't allow yourself to get discouraged. This is a good conversation and a very good example of someone tending to their own vibration. And really that's what we're talking about deliberate creation is. It's tending to your own vibration. It's not letting the reality that you've learned to see or the expectation that you've been trained override your intentions. Now, everything that comes to you comes in that way. It's just that often you are not as clear about what you want, or the circumstances are not as clear that let you see what the balance of it is. The staff has had some concern about some of this. There was a woman who came one day who, in a hotel where there was an escalator, and she stood at the top of the escalator and begged each person that went by to give her some money.
Yeah, I didn't ask anybody for.
We're making the distinction that that didn't go anywhere. But there are people in the crowd, even in this crowd, who will empathize with struggle rather than empathize with determination. And our encouragement to you as you hear this story is to understand that when you yield to someone's need, you are encouraging need. When you yield to someone's desire, you are encouraging desire. And you have people around you all the time, some of them needing, some of them desiring. And when you yield to need, you do not help. When you yield to desire, you always do. When you yield to need, you don't feel as good. When you yield to desire, you feel good. And so it's not about the action. The action and the event itself is not what we are eager to talk about. It's the vibrational countenance that brings it about. This is a good example that helps you to understand that if you really want something and you hold yourself in a place of powerful expectation, the universe will yield the cooperative components to you. That's what this story is about. It's what we teach all day, every day, and we are glad you got in.
I love the word convergence, and I feel like there's something eliciting for step 6 with convergence. I feel like there's momentum about step 5 and getting the benefit and the contrast and then being able to converge with your inner being.
Well, let's not make a step about it yet.
Okay.
Or we're going to end up with another 12-step program.
It feels like the next logical step to me.
In this sense, we're in complete agreement with you. So we talked about the vortex and how it's gestating and how law of attraction is gathering all of the cooperative components. And you are, in your human form, somewhere in vibrational vicinity of it, even though the vortex is here with your inner being and calling you. So let's say that you are consistently hanging around up there. Step 4, step 4, step 4, step 4, occasionally step 5, but you bounce right back. In other words, step 4, step 4, step 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. That's where you hang out. Loving contrast and maintaining your vibrational frequency mostly. So now convergence begins. We call inspiration convergence. We call thoughts turning to things convergence. We call a good idea in your mind a convergence. Esther is converging with Abraham. It's her words, it's her vocabulary, it's her human experience. It's a lot that is converging with the energy of Abraham, and it is equaling this experience, convergence. And so, that convergence, we also like to call it that sweet spot, where you want to call it magic sometimes, where so many wonderful things are happening to you in such a short period of time, you can hardly find words to define how blessed you feel. Convergence.
Absolutely.
And then all those thoughts turning to things. The car showing up in your garage and you meeting the love of your life, and convergence, convergence, convergence. It's just a blending. It's a blending. And an important distinction, it's not my idea differing from your idea and us cooperatively converging. That's not what it is. It's my idea, me in harmony with it, me getting enough momentum going that cooperative components must join it, and when they do, convergence, 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 convergence. So the answer to an earlier question is, in how to increase momentum of desire, convergence, 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 convergence. Just pile on. Think of as many good feeling things like that as you can.
I like the distinction between the word instinct and intuition. Are they the same, or do you think there's a distinction there?
They're similar enough, but if you want to split hairs about it, and sometimes we do, like people talk about appreciation and gratitude. Those are very different frequencies, even though people use those words interchangeably. Mostly, you think of instinct relative to animals, but really what's going on is they are so in alignment with their broader perspective that they are being inspired, and you call it instinct, but it is inspiration. That's the distinction that we would like to make, is that when you are observing it and not understanding it, you might call it instinct, but when you are on the inside of it and feeling it, if you're watching it in another, you might say, well, he instinctively does that, or he instinctively does that. But when it's happening to you, you know you are inspired to it.
And so that would feel more like intuition than instinct, because it's something that you personally can...
Intuition, inspiration, the words don't matter very much. It's just good for you to identify the feeling within yourself. There are degrees of everything, aren't there?
Yeah.
When we use the word inspired, we really mean it as perhaps the Latin root of the word meant spirit within you. Inspired. In other words, you are in tune with that, and you and that are one.
That's the convergence of you and your inner being.
One day Esther was looking for something to wear years ago for this environment, and she was in the dressing room and had several things to choose from, and she said, Abraham, you pick. So we just reached out and picked something, and Esther put it on, and she went out, and Jerry said, yeah, that's nice, and Esther said, Abraham picked it. And Jerry said, well, then I won't disagree with that. And it was probably 2 months later that Esther noticed that on the sleeve there were some words written, and one of the words was inspired.
I love that.
And we were really pleased when she figured out why we chose it.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
So much.
This is a good time for a segment of refreshment.